Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. This one's a long one, so let me just cut to the chase. We're in the midst of the 3rd year anniversary for Fire Emblem Heroes, and among the many fun banners we're getting this month, there is one in particular that inspired this video, and that would be the free 5-star seasonal banner. Much like the name implies, we get one free summon, and with that one summon, we are guaranteed a 5-star seasonal unit from this past year. Every color pool has a different set of heroes, some of which may or may not be worth thinking about prior to summoning. And full disclaimer guys, I'm sure that most of you guys watching this have probably already used your free summon. I started working on this video the day after FEH channel dropped, and my intention was to get it uploaded as soon as possible, but this week has been an absolute nightmare for me, and considering it's taken me almost an entire week to finish this, I hope you find something of value to take away from this. Alright, enough of an intro, we've got 44 heroes to get through right now. I am not kidding, 44 heroes. Please understand that I am not going to talk about each hero as a unit. What I am doing is making a list of the fodder each color pool has to offer, sharing some quick thoughts on each skill, and making some small suggestions at the end should anyone be unsure of which color to summon. Alright, let's get this show on the road and see how fast I can get through all 44 heroes. Starting us off in the red pool. In chronological order, our first hero is Hostile Springs Elise. I don't know that I've ever actually seen anyone use her before, but her weapon, Red Hot Ducks Plus, is an interesting dagger that some units could seriously benefit from. It scales its damage boost off of the unit's speed, therefore the higher your speed in relation to the enemies, the greater the boost. Many dagger units tend to have excellent base speed to work with, so finding someone who can make use of this weapon shouldn't be too hard. Elise also comes with the Rally Up Attack Plus, which is a fun rally skill that affects all allies within a 2-tile radius. Nice! Up next, Valentine's Ike, an armored sword unit. He comes with the Heart Blade, which, much to Mike's surprise, is inheritable. It grants +2 to all stats so long as he's next to an ally. Armored units like to stick closely together, so this makes perfect sense for me. He's also got Distant Counter and Special Fighter, both of which are very nice fodder. You'll of course want to slap Distant Counter on any units with some good mixed bulk, and Special Fighter is especially great for armored units that can reliably double the enemy. Ike's Wave skill is also decent, but because wave skills are becoming more and more accessible these days, I'm not going to add them to our list. Next, Spring Pala, a flying red dagger unit. She comes with the Pegasus Carrot, an inheritable dagger with built-in effectiveness against armored units. It's definitely a rare one, but I've seen some crazy anti-armor builds thanks to this weapon. Disarm Trap is also a really good skill for Aether Raids. With it, your unit can walk into any trap tile without setting it off. I don't treat this mode very seriously, and yet I still want Disarm Trap. Next, Picnic Flora, the newest addition to my picnic theme team. She's an armored red dagger unit, and she is a monster. Such a good player phase unit, and she's got some solid resistance to help her counter on the enemy phase. Good stuff. For fodder, she's got both Bold Fighter and Armor March, the latter of which is especially useful for mobilizing your armor units across the map. Every Armor Emblem team should have someone with Armor March. Just my opinion. And Bold Fighter is a great B skill for any player phase unit that wants a guaranteed follow-up attack on the player phase. Next. Okay, we've got Bridal Sigrun, a flying sword unit. Her weapon is the Cake Cutter Plus, an inheritable sword that comes with built-in Swift Sparrow 2 as its effect. Really solid weapon that you honestly can't go wrong with. Just about any sword unit could benefit from built-in Swift Sparrow. Sigrun also comes with Air Orders, which is a fantastic skill for any flyer emblem teams. It allows the user to warp to any space adjacent to any flying allies within 2 spaces. Definitely a skill I've got my eye on. Next up, Summerhill Bindi, who I wish I had. He's an infantry sword unit and the perfect red unit for my summer theme team. He comes with the Sand Fort Spade Plus, which grants attack and defense +4, so long as a bonus is active on the unit. With all the wave skills, rouse skills, oath skills, and hold skills in the game, this is a very easy condition to meet. He also comes with Rally, Attack, and Defense Plus, which I'm sure many of you could use in Arena. Speaking of which, his A skill, R Dual Infantry, could also be very useful for any red infantry units with low BST. These dual skills are great for beefing up your unit's scoring, especially on dancers and refreshers who normally have fairly low BST. Next up is Summer Lilina, a cavalry dagger unit. She's got what I think is one of the best inheritable daggers in the game so far. The Broadleaf Fan grants the user an in-combat boost to their attack equal to the total penalties stacked onto the enemy. Its potential is insane, and I absolutely love this weapon. Could not recommend it more for anyone that loves debuffing the enemy. Lilina also comes with the Rally Up Resistance Plus, another rally skill, so that's definitely going on the list. She's also got a Sabotage skill, which is fine, but I almost always prefer Ploy skills. They're both decent debuffs, I just find Ploy is a lot more convenient to use. Anyway, gotta go fast. Next up is Soiree Ishtar, a very popular flying red tome user. She's an incredible refresher and an incredibly offensive threat. I'd personally recommend keeping her if you're lucky enough to pull her, but if you don't care for her, and I'm sure there are some of you who don't, then you can at least fodder her off for Swift Sparrow 3. +6 attack and +7 speed on the player phase is lovely. She also comes with air orders, but we already have that on our list thanks to Sigrun, so I won't double dip. Next, our first duo unit, Halloween Hector. Honestly, if you're lucky enough to pull a duo unit, I'd probably recommend keeping them. So far, they've all been very strong units. They obviously score really well in competitive, but if for whatever reason you hate Hector and or want to kill Lelina, you can at least nab distant counter while you're at it. Hector does also come with that odd follow-up skill, but I personally don't think it's all that great and would rather just stick to my usual armor skills. Next up is Zephiel. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Anyway, he's another armored sword unit. His weapon, the Bell Ringer Plus, is inheritable, although I don't know how viable it is, to be quite honest. The 5 HP recovery seems a bit underwhelming, but I've never used it myself, so I could be wrong. However, I'm gonna pass on it for now and simply add Vengeful Fighter to our list of fodder and keep it moving. Vengeful Fighter, by the way, is basically Bold Fighter, but for the enemy phase. That's it. Still great. Still love it. Okay, and our last red unit is New Year Anna. Woo, she finally got an alt. She comes with a rally skill, nice, but perhaps more noteworthy is her weapon, the Fortune Bow. I haven't seen many people talk about it, but the Fortune Bow is a very solid bow for any archer with good base resistance. It has a built-in sabotage skill, which is nice for some easy debuffing, so long as the unit's resistance is high enough. That might be it for Anna though as far as fodder goes, meaning that's it for all of our red units. Woo! Alright, I'm gonna hold my final thoughts for the end once we've gotten through every color. In the meantime though, let's jump on to blue. Our first blue unit is Hot Springs Ryoma, a lance flyer who's got an interesting inheritable weapon. It's Curtains Plus. It grants -2 special cooldown charges on turn 1, which can be very fun and handy for low cooldown specials like Glimmer. It's unfortunately the only skill I'd probably pull from him, but definitely worth grabbing. If you slap it on an infantry unit with Special Spiral, you'll literally have your special active at all times. Next, Valentine Soren. He comes with Blair Blooms, which has the same effect as Ike's sword. Not gonna lie, I prefer to see this effect on an armor unit, so I'm kind of on the fence with this one. His rally skill will definitely be noted though, and I don't think very many people use opening skills, but I would actually like to have res opening for some bonus doubler shenanigans that I'm working on myself. So I'm gonna add these last two and keep moving. Alright, next up, Spring Marissa, a Lance Flyer. The only skill here in her kit that really catches my eye is Flyer Guidance. My Flyer Emblem team is definitely in need of some polishing, and though flying units don't have access to a lot of skills, their movement skills are one of their greatest assets. You can't understate the value of their movement. Next, oh my god, my favorite armor unit in the game, Picnic Lucas. Unfortunately though, for the rest of the world, he probably is the worst unit to pull as he has very little fodder to offer. I mean, compared to literally every other Picnic unit on this banner, his base kit is sparse. I'm honestly very salty they did him so dirty. He's a monster of a tank though, let me just say, but that's beside the point. The only skill of value that he might be worth inheriting would have to be his weapon, the Luncheon Lance Plus. It grants attack and defense +4 on the enemy phase, and that's it. It's a neat little lance, but even I replaced it. Womp womp. Anyway, next, Groom Pent, a cavalry tome user, and oh boy, this man is filled to the brim with fodder. His weapon, the Vessel of Cheer Plus, is an inheritable blue tome that comes with a built-in Swift Sparrow 2 effect. That's attack and speed +4 on the player phase, which you definitely can't go wrong with. He's got rally up attack plus, which is fantastic, and perhaps the most valuable part of his kit is the beloved Pulse Smoke. You guys know me, I love me some smoke skills. With this skill, any foes within a 2-tile radius will have their special cooldown slowed by 1 charge after combat. This skill is especially handy in modes like Rocker Sieges, where the Rocker specials tend to have AoE effects and can really get in the way with high scoring. Groompent, definitely a standout for this color pool. Next up is Bridal Tanith, another blue unit from the same Bridal banner. Her weapon, Lofty Blossoms Plus, is also inheritable and has the same Swift Sparrow effect. It's a great lance to have, but unfortunately, that's about all she has. Swift Sparrow 2 in the A slot isn't bad, but for me personally, it's very hard for me to be satisfied with Swift Sparrow 2, knowing that Swift Sparrow 3 already exists in the game. So for me, that's it for Tanith. Next up, Summer Leg Yarn. I might have butchered her pronunciation. Anyway, oh boy, is she stacked. Her weapon isn't heritable, but she does come with, speak of the devil, Swift Sparrow 3. With a boost of attack plus 6 and speed plus 7, you better believe this is going on our list. She's also got Flyer Formation, another great flyer skill, which I believe we've already talked about, so we're gonna go ahead and add both of these to our list and keep it moving. For our second Blue Summer unit, it's Lynn, a flying archer, and she comes with Sturdy Impact. Oh lord! This is one of my favorite A skills. It's funny because I have a Lynn, and despite her being such a fantastic unit, I originally summoned her with the intention of foddering her for her Sturdy Impact. But I like Lynn, and Blazing Blade was my first Fire Emblem game, so once I actually pulled her, I sort of developed a soft spot for her, so I decided to keep her. That being said, I think Sturdy Impact is the main skill you're going to want to take from her. Distant Guard is also pretty good, but since it's already accessible through Kronia in the Grail shop, I'm going to skip on adding it to our list and keep moving. Next up is Soiree Berkut, a Lance Dancer. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any great fodder except for maybe his B-Dual Infantry skill. As we mentioned before, these skills are handy for any units that have low BST, as you will treat them as though their BST is 175 in Arena. It's good for scoring, and that's about it. Next, Halloween Ileana, making her Fey debut as an armored tome user. Like with all the Halloween units, her tome comes with a built-in Fury 3 effect, adding +3 to her attack, defense, speed, and resistance. You can't go wrong with Fury, especially if you're pairing it with Brazen skills or any other skills that have an HP requirement. Ileana also comes with Bolt Fighter, which we've already talked about. Good fodder overall. Up next, Winter Nino. Like with Zephiel, I'm not crazy about Nino's Tannin Bit effect, so I'm not adding it to our list, but her rally skill will definitely go on there because it's a rally skill. And so will Armor March, which is probably the best part of her kit. Like I said, every armor team needs to have someone with Armor March, so this is excellent fodder to have nonetheless. Okay, and last but certainly not least, New Year's Alphonse, who's probably got the best fodder from the entire blue pool. Aside from being an incredibly good unit, Alphonse is stacked with both Close Counter and Special Spiral, which are basically the Kronia starter kit. Excluding Alphonse, Close Counter can only be found on 3 other units, 2 of which are seasonally locked. Special Spiral, on the other hand, is an amazing skill that I talk about way too frequently on this channel. It's incredibly useful for helping recover special charges immediately after combat, and can become especially lethal when paired with specials that have low cooldowns. Alphonse's C skill, Defense and Resistance Oath, is also very sweet, earning you +5 defense and resistance at the start of every turn so long as you're adjacent to another ally. These are great skills to inherit, and quite honestly, why I'm giving all of my votes to Alphonse in this week's A Hero Rises event. Alright, we're done with blue! Okay, we're gonna revisit and compare all of the lists at the end of the video, but for now, we've still got 2 more colors to go. On to green. Starting us off, it's Hostile Springs Hinoka, a flying green dagger unit. Spicy. She comes with the Splashy Bucket Plus, which has a built-in Mystic Boost effect, meaning it rejects any Wrathful Staff effects from healers and also prevents dragons from targeting the lower of the unit's defense or resistance. Mystic Boost is already a fantastic skill in itself, and so to have it slapped onto a weapon is pretty awesome. While I'm surprised I've never seen it in action before, I'm also not surprised because I don't think very many of us like to talk about the Hostile Springs banner. Yikes. Anyway, Splashy Bucket and Ear Orders are definitely going onto our list. Next, Valentine's Mist. Oh my god, I love the artwork for this alt. She looks adorable. Her inheritable weapon is Grand Blooms, which, like Soren's Tome, grants +2 to her attack, speed, defense, and resistance, so long as she's next to an ally. Again, not super crazy about this weapon, but we do have less green units overall than the other color pools, so I might go ahead and add it onto our list. She also has a rally skill, so of course that's going to be added as well. Next up, Spring Veronica. Her egg isn't inheritable, but she does come with a rally skill. Nice. G Dual Flying 3 might also be the best skill that she offers. Like the other dual skills we've encountered so far, this is great for arena purposes, so of course this is going to be added onto our list. In her B slot, she's also got Chill Resistance, but much like with wave skills, I'm not really adding chills to our list as they're gradually becoming more and more accessible, plus they're all already available in the Sacred Seal Forge, so thank you. Next, Felicia, another one of the few armored units I actually like to use. She's a great resistance wall, although she doesn't have a whole lot of premium fodder. Special Fighter is about all that she offers. She does come with Close Guard though, which is nice, but it isn't exactly premium, and it's also already in the Grail shop, so there's that. Next, Summer Levitine. Oh my god. Much like with her older sister, Levitine comes with some excellent fodder. Mirror Impact should definitely catch some of your attention. +6 attack and +10 resistance on the player phase, on top of denying the enemy follow-up attacks. This is one hell of a skill, if not the skill to fodder this girl off for. She does also come with the buoy board, which synergizes with her wave skill nicely, but for sure mirror impact is what you're gonna want from her. Next. Oh my god, one of my absolute favorite units in the game. I love him so much. He's got the bit catch bow, which I personally like, but I know a lot of people tend to replace. It grants attack and speed +5 as long as there is a penalty on the foe. I like this bow because my entire summer theme team is loaded with smoke skills, ruse skills, and panic, so this weapon's effect is almost always on. Definitely some fun fodder to play around with. However, his brazen skill is undoubtedly the bigger catch. +9 attack and +10 speed, my goodness! While it would kill me to see anyone fodder off a Wolt, I can completely understand passing his brazen skill off to units like Lioness or Echidna. Can't blame ya. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Soiree Reinhardt, the mad lad, got his first seasonal out. He's an incredible powerful dancer, so if you're lucky enough to get him, I'd probably recommend keeping him since he hits really hard. However, if not, you can definitely nab his joint hone attack. Joint hone skills are nice premium skills that grant both you and any adjacent allies the same buff. They're like wave skills in that regard, but every turn. Death Blow 3 is also okay. I think most people would prefer Swift Sparrow nowadays, but Death Blow 3 or 4 is especially great for Reinhardt and Brave weapon users alike. Next, the grandiose Halloween La Rochelle. God, I love this alt. The art looks so good. And if I didn't need her weapon so badly, I'd probably consider building her up someday. Her Madness Flask Plus comes in with a built-in Fury 3 effect, which I personally want to give to my Inigo. It's perfect for any Green Tome users like him that could use the increased BST. La Rochelle also has a rally skill because she'll need it in order to pull off her awesome ruse skill. I love ruse skills. I know they're kinda gimmicky, but I take great pleasure in watching my brave Eliwood debuff an entire row of enemies from across the map. Very satisfying. Ruse skills are especially good for any allies that require the enemy to be debuffed in order for the weapon effects to trigger, much like Summer Wolt. It's fantastic. Definitely some good fodder if you're looking to run some easy debuffs. Next. Winter Sothis. Oh my god, one of the craziest, most broken units we've gotten in a while. Sothis seriously tears it up. While I could never imagine foddering her off, for the sake of this video I do have to point out that she's got Distant Counter, Special Fighter, and Threaten, Attack, and Resistance 3, the latter of which is some especially nice fodder. Again, I would recommend keeping her though because she quite literally destroys everything. Just reposition her into a cluster of enemies, hit end turn, and watch her destroy everyone. By the time the next player phase has started, Threaten, Attack, and Resistance will activate, assuming there's anyone still alive, and she'll be even stronger that next turn. She is fantastic. Next. Alright, last up in the green pool is New Year's Leith. God, of all the Lagus from Tellius, she is the last person to be taking part in a Bayork festivity like New Year's. Whatever. Leith comes with attack and speed solo, which is nice, and a coveted Lull skill, Lull Speed and Defense 3. Lull skills are especially nice due to their automatic in-combat debuff, as well as their ability to completely negate any enemy bonuses. Both of these are fantastic skills for fodder, so they're definitely going on our list. Okay, and that wraps things up for all of our green units. Woo! Oh my god, wrong. I messed up and completely forgot about Valentine's Grail, who I didn't realize was color sharing with Mist. Oops. And considering how long it took me to make this list on the right hand side, just pretend that there is room there on the right side of my screen. Okay, so Valentine's Grail, god that artwork looks good. And the man comes with some great fodder too. His weapon, the Faithful Axe, grants +3 to all stats when adjacent to an ally, certainly better than the +2 that Soren and Mist got. He's also the first unit to introduce Fury 4, which is hella nice. +4 to all stats is excellent and synergizes so well with Brazen skills, Desperation, Wrath, Vantage, etc. So good. And lastly, he also comes with Armor March, which, as I've said before, is excellent armor fodder. Good stuff all around. Alright, and now we're done with all of the green units. Alright, this is the home stretch, folks. On to the color list. Let's see how quickly we can get through these. First up, Hot Spring Sakura. She comes with the Grand Scratcher Plus, which is an insanely great staff. It automatically grants 1 special cooldown charge to the ally with the highest attack on the team. This is a fantastic staff to inherit, and wow, it is a shame that she is the only one that has it. Sakura also comes with the Fire Flood Balm, which is a great special for all healers. I'm a huge fan of Balm skills as I love their buffing effects, and for only 2 special charges, it should be activating frequently. Lastly, Sakura also comes with Wrathful Staff, which allows her damage to be calculated at full power. Sakura's got some excellent fodder for a healer, for sure. Next up, Spring Bruno. Oh boy, I'm a huge fan of Bruno and I really want his normal self to be in the summoning pool, but we'll have to make do with this in the meantime. His Ovoid staff isn't particularly outstanding in my opinion. I don't consider its healing effect to be all that exceptional. His push skill is fairly nice though. I do consider push skills to be some of the best ace skills for healers, as it's really easy for them to recover their own HP, and they can still reap the benefits of the skill without needing to engage in combat. Bruno's also got Dazzling Staff, which of course prevents counterattacks. Definitely still some good fodder there as well. Next up, Jenny, another healer. She's got the Toasty Skewer, which grants an in-combat boost of defense and resistance +3 to any allies within 2 tiles on the enemy phase. It's an interesting weapon, but I like its effect and could see it synergizing with the other picnic units on her banner, so it's definitely going on my list. Jenny also comes with the same Balm skill as Sakura, as well as Wrathful Staff, both of which are already on our list, so yeah, excellent fodder overall. Next, Bridal Thorm, or Jorm, however you pronounce her name, another healer and probably one of the best, up there with Brave Ronak and Camila. Fodder-wise though, she's got Dazzling Staff, which we've already got on our list, and Ground Orders, which is another fantastic skill that allows any adjacent allies to move to a space adjacent to any allies within 2 tiles. Whew, I really want this skill for my Summer Lyn though, definitely a good catch. Although Fjord is such a good flying healer that I might actually recommend keeping her if you pull her. It's up to you, of course. Next, Summer Gunthra, our first seasonal dagger unit for this year. Her dagger, Tropical Treats, grants her an in-combat boost so long as she's already got a bonus active. Again, easy conditions to meet. She's got a handy rally skill which we'll jot down, and she also comes with Disarm Trap. Again, fantastic skills for Aether raids. Summer Ursula finally pulled one this past December, and she's got good fodder to boot. Her dagger, the Scallop Blade, is pretty nice. Probably not as good as Alina's Broadleaf fan, but still really good. Again, another debuff-oriented weapon, which I like. Her rally skill synergizes with her ruse skill, which was my big draw for summoning her. Again, I love debuffs, so I would definitely be happy to pull her. Good fodder here. Next, Soiree Nephany. Girl got her first out, and as a bow dancer. Talk about an interesting combination. The Fiddlestick Bow is a nice support-oriented bow that grants some close combat bulk to nearby allies. Perfect for a support-oriented dancer. She's also the first unit to introduce the Caldera Dance skill. And while I'm not normally crazy about some of these dancer skills, I know that some people like to really use them, so I'll throw that on our list. Next, we've got Halloween Dozla. The Mad Lad finally got into the game! Like with all the Halloween units, his pumpkin in a box, get it, comes with a built-in Fury 3. Again, as a dagger unit, this synergizes beautifully with anyone running close counter and vantage. Dozla's also got a really nice rally skill as well as armor march. The man is stacked with good fodder, so he's definitely a solid pick. Almost done. Next up, Winter Marth, another great duo unit. Again, while I don't recommend foddering any duo units because of how much value they offer, you're more than welcome to kill Marth off for Daring Fighter. It's an interesting skill. It's basically Desperation with the added effect of neutralizing any effects that prevent him from performing follow-up attacks. It's a good skill, don't get me wrong, but I probably wouldn't kill off a Marth for it. Still, I'll throw both it and Joint Hone Speed onto our list. Both decently good skills. Okay, and lastly we've got Selkie, who won the recent voting gauntlet, blah blah blah. I recently pulled a Selkie and the only skill that I bothered to take was Distant Ward. It was very confusing to a lot of people when it first came out, but let me break it down for just a brief moment. It's a good side grade to Distant Counter for units that have solid resistance but low defense. This is frequently the case with many flyers, especially since they are weak to arrows. It gives them a modest boost of +5 attack and resistance on the enemy phase and allows them to retaliate. Again, it's not necessarily better or worse than Distant Counter in my opinion, it's a side grade I think. That being said, please pretend I have space on my screen while I add it to our list. Okay, and that is it everyone, that was all 44 units. Woo! I do not know how long this video is now, but it is definitely the most work I've ever had to put in a video. Oh my god, I cannot believe I thought this was a good idea. Alright, so we have our 4 lists now, side by side. So let's wrap things up and let me just go ahead and give my final thoughts. I am personally hoping to summon green on my main account, and I'll tell you why. Firstly, there are a lot of specific things that I need from the green pool. My Felicia and Wolt both want merges. My Inigo wants La Rochelle's weapon. While I don't have an immediate need for Mirror Impact, I know that I will want to give it to someone eventually down the line. Leith's lull skill is also great fodder. Sothis is too good of a unit to pass, and I'd even still be happy with a Hinoka thanks to air orders. The only units I would actually be disappointed to receive from the green pool would be Mist or Veronica, just because I have no need for either of them, but that's only 2 out of 11, so chances are that I'm gonna get somebody that I'm very content with. As for the red pool, there's some good fodder in there, but most of which I don't need right now. The only skills I need from the red pool are Air Orders or Swift Sparrow 3, both of which are on Ishtar. The only unit I actually want to keep would be Summerhell Bindi, so there's not a lot for me to gain from the red pool. Lots of fun weapons though, I'll say. The blue pool is a little different. There are some units in the blue pool that I'd really love. My Picnic Lucas and my Summer Lin both want merges, and I'd love a duo Alphonse. But then there's also a lot of units that I would gain very little from. I'm not interested in Soren, Marissa, Tanith, Berkud, Ileana, or Nino. And the only fodder here that I really need, again, is Swift Sparrow 3. And maybe Fire Guidance. And while yes, I could get lucky and pull a Lucas or Alphonse or Lin, I don't know that I want to take that risk. And lastly, there's the Colorless pool. If you're looking for good healer fodder, I would definitely recommend pulling here. Sakura by far has the best staff fodder thanks to her weapon, her special Wrathful Staff. But nearly all of the healers have something of value to offer, and even the dagger units have some nice stuff. Gunthra's got Disarm Trap, Ursula has her Ruse skill, Nephane's a Dancer, Duo Marth, an overall solid choice. I'm likely going to be pulling Colorless on my alternate account, as I'd love the staff fodder for my Mercedes. Alright, and that is it! Oh my god, we are done! We are done with this video! I still can't believe I thought this was a good idea. Oh my god. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you actually stuck around through this entire video, it's probably like at least half an hour long now. Oh my god. If you've already used your free summon, which I'm assuming most of you already have, please let me know what you pulled. I hope you got something good out of it. And if you have any questions about any of the units or the skills, feel free to drop them in the comments section below. Or you could also join our Discord server. We're having a lot of fun in there. We've got a nice little wholesome group there. So feel free to join us anytime if you'd like. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I should hopefully be getting a few more videos out this weekend before the 3 Houses DLC drops next week. Oh my god, so excited. Alright, take care everybody and happy anniversary. Goodbye.